Hi there, it's John Mansell, exboozehound. Hope you're well. I'll take off the disguise shortly. Yeah, it's me. Well, I can't really see anymore because it's sunny. I thought I'd do a little vlog from my current location. I haven't yet done my what's the word I'm looking for? My definite confirmation that I'm in a part of the country that is a place I find very, very peaceful. Although the drive yesterday started off at 20 to 23 in Blackheath and ended up here at 20 to 8. That was a long ass drive, and my old man's bad back is not good today. Probably can't see my eyes because of the sunshine. I am all wrapped up, but it's glorious sunshine, and the reason I thought I'd do a little vlog is that last week, if you followed some stuff, I did a little sort of what I call my thingy-majigs with regards with my my tattoo. Enjoy the good, ride out the bad. And I did one of these a few years ago, and it says something along the lines of, all the pain and all the horrendous pain and the struggle and the hard work and effort. On days like today, it makes it worth it. Because of some of the meetings that I'd had that day, there was a lot of positivity, there was a lot of possibilities of being able to help more people in 2023. And some of you all know I've got birth dates tattooed on me. 1973 when I was born, 2003 when I was reborn, when I got sober, 2013 when I had my mental breakdown. And often people see that as a negative, but quite honestly, 2013, although it was a horrendous year, and I was absolutely convinced my life was over, it was inevitable that the end was nigh. I was wrong. And obviously, as you know, I'm not very often wrong, and through a lot of hard work and a lot of Stan Laurel here, a lot of hard work and a lot of effort and massive ups and downs and different medications and different therapies and writing my books and doing the vlogs and stuff like that. It's brought me to a place where I'm totally broke. In order to put the diesel in my car yesterday, I realised that if I put the diesel in my car yesterday, it wouldn't come out of my account before my benefits go in today. So I've looked at my balance on my bank account today, and Jesus, it's took a hit in the first day, but it is what it is. Money comes and goes, and there's more to life. I don't know whether any of you yesterday saw that piece on BBC News about, there's a guy, Mr. Davies, called 100 years old. In the war, he drove tiger moth gliders, and he sort of talked about he'd crash landed a couple of times, and he was coming in for a landing, and he said, and I looked forward, which perhaps I should have done previous to that, and noticed there was a plane there. So I pulled back up on the stick, and then careered into diving into the ground, and all I can remember thinking is, ooh, those, as the buttercups got bigger and bigger, aren't they beautiful? Then they went to the hospital, and he said we had to walk back to we were signed as fit, and we had to walk back to base in full flight gear. And he was going into a school twice a week and helping children read. And he spoke about, it gave him more than he gave the children, and that his street cred went up because the kids would say, "Hello, Mr. Davies," when he's walking around the village. And it was such a heartwarming story. And he talked about belonging and being part of the community. And although I have very little in the way of materialistic things, what I have got is pride in myself. I spent most of my life hiding away from my addictions and my mental illness for real, and spent much of the many years of my life hating who John was, whether it be John, or whichever version of John it was, and did ridiculous things and dangerous and stupid things and things that I'm ashamed of whilst drinking. And I'm still ashamed of them, and I'm 20 years sober in February. And I had an experience recently where I bumped into somebody whose wedding I went to, and I made an absolute dickhead of myself. And I've thought about that many times over the years, and it fills me with dread and that sort of that burning inside you of shame. And I apologise to him. I sort of said, since then I am a changed person, and I help people with mental health issues and addiction, and I'm almost 20 years booze free. And he replied, no mate, it was great. We've told that story 1,000 times, and even though we got a smile on his face with that, it mortified me. And there's always going to be things like that. But the ex-boozehound stuff, which I started in 2013, when I was angry and delusional, to be fair, if you followed the path over the years, I started getting awards in 2014 till about 2018, and then with various projects I was trying to do, I just ended up lunatic status again, and I tried again at the start of last year, and ended up just in a complete mess. And I've come to terms now with the fact that the ex-boozehound that used to be is not the ex-boozehound that we see today. I talk a lot about acceptance, but further than acceptance, I've come to terms with that, and I have to look forward. And going back to what I said earlier, I spent most of my life hating who John was, and John, there was always a couple or two or three different Johns, and ex-boozehounds I'm proud of, and the stuff that ex-boozehound today together, John and Ken, or Einstein and Big Unit, and the stuff that we did together, and what my vlogs have done. They've just gone past 13,000 views, and the books that I've shifted, and I've nearly finished the next one now. And like Mr. Davis was saying, I'm really honoured to have people say to me that that my vlogs and blogs and books and stuff have helped them, and helped them survive and helped them stay alive. So I can go to my grave without a penny, and those achievements can't be taken away. And it's tough times for people at the moment with financial situations. But once you're broke, and it gets a little better, it gets a little worse, and that. But so yeah, after the Friday and the meetings and the gym and stuff like that, I ended up really sort of heightened and bouncing off the walls on the Friday night. And I couldn't get to bed till about 2 o'clock because I got no chance of getting to sleep. Couldn't get to sleep, and then Saturday I didn't get out of bed till 3:30, and then when I did get out of bed, I literally didn't do a thing, and I did very little on Sunday. And then I think that inaction has left me causing the problem with my back, and then that gets worse because I can't go to the gym because of the back, and so I had a tough up and down week last week. I had to sort of pull out of something that I was meant to do last night, but I always stress with people that I am mentally ill, and there are going to be occasions where I can't be or do what I've said I'm going to do, and I have no shame in saying that. They either accept it, or if they don't accept it, then that's their problem. And that sort of confidence, that arrogance, I suppose, to a certain extent, the certainty in me comes from all the hard work that I've put in, and to understand me and stuff like that. And there was a period last year where I'd lost the understanding of me, and the NHS got involved because I was losing the plot on Twitter, and I ended up with Mark, a new care coordinator, and went through a new sort of routine with the medication, which, you're going to be honest, Mark was brilliant, and the system let it down with regard to the time it took, and the system's still letting it down with regard to cancelled appointments and things like that. But I don't want to be negative about the system. I want to tell you, hand on heart, although there's still a lot of negatives, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I see as really positive. There's a lot of people coming together now and working together, and that's what we've got to do. If we can't work together, we've got no chance. I think some of you are already aware of my opinions with regard to the striking. My politics doesn't matter. I don't like the fact that the NHS are striking. I understand that they deserve better. I just feel that, unfortunately, inevitably, people are going to die on those days where the strikes are on, and even though they might have died anyway, the family and friends of that particular person are only going to remember the fact that the NHS was on strike. Now, NHS, or social care and health, deserve so much better. The shortage of staff and everything they're going through is just ridiculous, and I honestly believe if we don't make the changes that we need to this year, then I think we're lost. I think we're going to lose, and some of those changes, it really does include social care, and not just social care, the unpaid carers out there, the thousands and thousands of unpaid carers out there. If they down tools tomorrow morning, the system would collapse by the end of the next day, and that for me is well, it may not be fact, but it's a team effort, and we have to work together. Yes, they need better circumstances, they need more staff, they need this, that and the other. It's been underfunded for many years, and not just under the Conservatives, under Labour as well. I'm quite disappointed with Jeremy Hunt, got to be honest, with regard to him not putting his money where his mouth is. We can go into that another day, but at the end of the day, whether it be the Conservatives in power or if Labour get into power next time, we've got some unprecedented problems to get through, and we can only get through those unprecedented problems if we work together, and we work together as a team. And also, I believe strongly that team should be led by people like myself, whether you want to call yourself an expert by experience, whether you want to call yourself somebody with lived experience, or whether you call yourself what I do, a life experience warrior. We have to lead the way forward, and force the people who are very, very risk averse for obvious reasons. When they say, no, we can't do that because of this, because of that, we turn around to them and say, I don't care whether you can't do it because of this, because of that, you will find a way to do it. And that's how it needs to work. We need to think, not just think differently, we need to do differently. We need to stop saying, well, it's always worked this way. We need to stop saying, well, we can't do that, we can't do this. We have to try. And we have to possibly, I know it's difficult, but we have to gamble in a way, in that we need to try new things. And and put our hands up and say, this is the honest truth. And they were talking to the NHS health secretary the other day, and they were saying to him, can you guarantee while the strikes are going on that an ambulance will arrive? And he kept skirting around the issue, and the answer he should have given was no, we can't. And I think with I shouldn't really be getting into this, but there's this thing that, is it the government's fault? Is it the union's fault? Is it this? Is it that? I think both sides have got a lot to answer for, and personally, again, this might not go down very well. I think that there's still too much point scoring and politics with regard to it. What's her name? Pat Cullen was on television the other day, and there was a guy had written in and said, even though she'd guaranteed that things would happen even on strike days, a guy that written in about his cancer treatment had been cancelled, and the fact is his cancer treatment had been cancelled, and Pat Cullen's response was, well, that shouldn't have been the case. It doesn't matter that it shouldn't have been the case, it was the case. And I have used words to this effect in my new book. So we know my theory, my feelings on it. I understand why they're doing it, they deserve better. But I just think that the end result is actually going to make things worse for them. If you're behind, if your waiting lists are bang out of order and stuff like that, then stepping away is only going to make them worse. Yes, they deserve more money, and the nurses and everybody deserves more money. They deserve more respect, but also social care. People out there that are, into the social care, they're earning £9.50 an hour. That is just, well, it's disgusting, it's disgraceful. Anyway, I think we got a little bit off topic, and I may have just said a few things that will piss people off, but you know what? I don't really care. I've got my opinions. They may be wrong. They're not very often wrong. I've got cogent arguments for why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not slagging anybody off. Maybe slagging Pat Cullen off a little bit, but that's my. I don't like the rail union guy either. So that's my problem. Anyway, so tough couple of days, and then I've decided that I'm coming down to where I am, because I've decided, following my brother's example, that you only live once, and that we need to make sure that we're not just existing, that we're living our lives. And what was meant to be a short vlog has turned out to be 18 minutes so far. So, keep an eye out for my posts and my vlogs. If you can share them, please do, because I know they help people. Because I'm honest and open and use words that people understand. I'm not fancy. I don't use medical terms and stuff like that. And if you haven't bought the A to Z guide, get out and buy it. And look forward to when keep your eye out for when I publish the second one, which will be either by the end of this month or next, or in the middle of next month. It's a little bit more, goes into a little bit more detail. It's not quite as basic as the original one, but I'm sure I'm going to be proud of it, and I'm sure you guys are going to like it. As always, enjoy the good and ride out the bad, and never give up, keep fighting, and be the life experience warriors that you are. I'll catch you soon. Toodle pip.